Over the last few weeks, we've been discussing GTA 6, and unfortunately, it seems like that discussion is going to be coming to an end relatively soon because the game is still years away. I think the last leaked date that it might be coming out is like 2023, so we definitely have some time until it releases. And to sort of cap off the discussion, hopefully, I don't think we'll get too many GTA 6 leaks anytime soon. But to cap off the discussion, I wanted to share this absolutely incredible GTA 6 concept map. And I thought we could have a really cool discussion in the comment section regarding like how we all want the map of GTA 6 to be. Now, this map is under the assumption that GTA 6 is going to take place in Vice City, but honestly, the creator of this map did probably some of the best work I've ever seen in a GTA concept map. And honestly, if the map we end up getting isn't somewhat like this, I think I personally will be very disappointed, because the scale, the ideas that this creator had when making this map, they are truly next gen, and GTA 6 is going to be coming out on those next gen consoles with that hardware. This is what we should be expecting. So this is actually made by Reddit user based HRG. I'll leave a link to the Reddit post in the description. Of course, you can see the picture, the map in its full entirety down there as well. You can zoom in if you want. But the first thing I actually wanted to share was the map, which of course is on the left here, compared to Los Santos. This was the scale, the size comparison, just to put this into perspective. Obviously, Los Santos is a pretty big map, but when you think about it, that map was made for PS3s, Xbox 360s. So while of course Los Santos is relatively big, when this next GTA map, this GTA 6 map comes out, it's coming out for PS5s, for Xbox Series X's, for hardware that is 10 years advanced from the last map. So this scale, I think, should be reasonably attainable for Rockstar. One of the complaints that you have, or that certain people have when it comes to GTA maps, is that even though they are relatively big, they feel small because you have jets, you have cars that go, close to 200 miles an hour. And it doesn't take too long to go from the top of the map to the bottom of the map. Well, this scale size changes that. It's almost double the size, at least from top to bottom, as Los Santos. And that is something we definitely should be expecting. And also you'll see, just on a broad view, there's a lot more little cities. And the locations of these cities are spread around the map. That is something that is lacking on Los Santos. I mean, you can just see the amount of green. It's tremendous compared to the city. It's very disjointed. You have the city at the bottom, bunch of green in the middle. You have that, Sandy Shores area, and then Mount Chiliad. There's not a whole bunch. Where the map on the left, there's just a variety of stuff. You go from city, you go from swamps, you go to just regular old farmland, I guess, or, just greenery. You have a lake in the middle. You have a very good variety, which I feel like if you were playing this map, it would lead to less feelings, I guess, of being bored with the map or of seeing the same thing over and over again. Now, we are going to take a more in-depth look at this map in a second, but there's just a few things I do want to point out. I'll just leave this picture with the GTA map up just to reinforce the scale of it. But one thing that I particularly love about this map is the different waterways. Of course, now this is Vice City, right? This is Florida. So you're expecting a lot of waterways and stuff. But I do like how the different waterways extend throughout the whole map. You can actually follow some of these rivers literally from the right ocean to the left ocean. And that is something that was missing in GTA 5's map. There's not really a river that connects all the way through. You can't take a boat from the top of the map to the bottom of the map without going all the way around. And that's something that it makes the boats and the aquatic vehicles, it makes them less usable. So this new map, you can see there's just a ton of different waterways. There's a ton of different lakes. Not everyone connects, sure, but like the big lake in the middle, there is a waterway that goes from the right to the lake, and then you can follow it down. I mean, there's different avenues that it goes. It's not like a straight path, but you can get to the left-hand side. I think it'll come out sort of towards the swamplands at the bottom left. So that was like the first thing that I noticed, and I really hope we get something along those lines. The second thing you'll notice is that it's completely different because, of course, the top is, well, it's not all connected or surrounded by ocean. So pretty much every GTA map that's ever come out is an island. This one isn't really an island. Now, I guess what they'd have to do if this was the case, they'd have to just make some sort of stop point at the top. I don't know how that would work because you can't do mountains. It's Florida. So I'm not entirely sure how they could go about stopping the map because, of course, what we're seeing is the map itself. But I do actually like the idea of not having everything be an island. I do like the idea of it being connected, like, potentially to the mainland, I guess. The third thing I wanted to point out before we dive into the in-depth look is the fact that there are little islands around the map, and that's something that is definitely missing when it comes to GTA Los Santos. Everything is just connected on this one big island, where this one you have a couple of the smaller islands. You have the actual like main Vice City part, which is the bottom right. You have, I think that's like Key West down at the bottom. You have a fort island just chilling off the side on the left. You have another little area on the left, middle top part that's sort of sticking out. It's connected by a couple of bridges. So you definitely have some various areas that don't really feel connected to the main part of the map, which is good. And then the final thing I'll say before we dive into the deeper part is something that doesn't actually have to do with this map specifically, but just the fact that Vice City might be the next game. Vice City doesn't have mountains, right? Florida doesn't have mountains. So the terrain is going to be much different than Los Santos. Los Santos is LA that has some decent mountains. Obviously, GTA, we have Mount Chiliad and stuff. Vice City is all flat. Florida's all flat. I mean, you have the swamp area, which is cool. Nice variety. But you're definitely not going to be getting, like, maybe at max you'll get a slight hill. But even then, I don't think that's super realistic for Florida. So it's going to be interesting with a map of this scale what Rockstar would do when it comes to the nature areas, like the environmental areas. Will it just be farmland? Like you'll see, I don't know, orange farms everywhere? Or will they do something different and not be as true to real life? Now, I did want to just dive into a couple of areas deeper just to showcase some cool ideas that this user had when he created this map. So one thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that there's actually two airports, like two major airports on this map. And you can see one in the middle left here. I think that is the Cottonmouth International Airport. And I really like that idea because normally GTA games only have one major airport, but this one, because it's a map of this scale, has two. And then also, this is sort of the middle part of the map, and you can definitely see there's the big lake. I guess maybe that's sort of like the Alamo Sea. But again, it has these little waterways, these little channels that do connect with other parts of the map. On the left-hand side, that I guess maybe is like the second tier city. I think the main city would be Vice City at the bottom right, which we'll get into. But this one on the left, that's sort of like just the second big city. And again, having two major cities in a GTA game, I think will make for an amazing experience. And then at the top, you just have some of these other little smaller, I guess, cities or towns in between stuff. One thing actually, to zoom it in, we have a place, Mausewitz. That's what the guy just called it. But that's actually Disney World. So I would love to see Rockstar's take on Disney World or on a theme park in general. I think that could be really cool. We got maybe a small, tiny taste of that with the pier in Los Santos, but having an entire theme park, Disney World sized theme park, would be awesome. And I think Rockstar could do some very creative stuff with that. Also, you get a closer look at the airport again. There's also a raceway near the airport, which is kind of cool. The next part I wanted to zoom into was actually the second airport, I guess the main airport. You have Escobar International. This is mainly the Vice City part of the map. Like, this is the main city part. This is what we all remember from, you know, Vice City all back then. But this actually has some other unique parts, right? It's got the Everglades, so you have a bunch of swampy areas, and we've seen the swamp done very well in Red Dead Redemption 2, so taking that and putting it in a GTA game, that could lead to some very cool situations. Obviously, you're going to be in cars and stuff, not horses, but that could be pretty cool out there. You also have a nuclear power plant actually right next to it, which would be pretty cool to see in a GTA game. I don't know exactly how it would work per se, but just seeing like a nuclear power plant in the game would be cool. Of course, at the top, you have the actual airport. That's like the main airport. I guess it would be the biggest airport. And it is next to the city. And as far as the city goes, I'd say it's a relatively big city. It's not as, I guess, central as Los Santos. You'll see, I think, when we look at the next picture, you get a better idea of it. But the only other thing about this picture I wanted to point out is at the bottom, you have Fort Baxter, which I believe was the fort in Vice City, the original game. So that's a cool little tie. But here is a little overview, or a better overview, of the actual city part. You can see it obviously connects through the bay. Then you have the beach part on the right. But this city part isn't as like I said, I guess centralized. It's more elongated, spread out, which again, I think would be great because we've all been playing on Los Santos for 10 years now. Having a different experience would make this game feel so much better. And then the only other part I wanted to zoom in was actually the bottom, because you can see that is the Key West part. And I just think that'd be cool to have. Like, you have these little islands, these little tropical islands down here. Like Rockstar, if they wanted to, right? They could throw some $1 million mansions out there. I just think that could be a really cool area. And of course, you have that other fort out on the sea. But yeah, I don't know. As far as maps go, I definitely think this is probably one of the best, if not the single best GTA 6 map I've ever seen. This has literally everything I think you could want from a GTA game, and it switches up the formula a little bit to where it makes it feel different. It makes it feel unique. So Rockstar, if the game truly is 2 years away, you know, they probably already have the map figured out, but they could tweak it maybe to make it like this. I don't think they could do any wrong if they were to do that. But anyway, like I said, I'll leave a link to the creator, the post in the description if you want to check it out. It's just an awesome map. And let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this particular concept. Are you all for it, or are you somehow against it? I am curious to hear in the comments below. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more GTA content. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.